Okay, so here we have another model. This squat isn't quite as clean as the previous guy, so we're going to use him to demonstrate how to improve that squat. So if you can get a good shot of Roy doing a full squat, or for you is a full squat. So again, we want to start with the feet slightly turned out, about 30 degrees, not too far. And you notice here his knees really want to drive in. Go ahead and do that again. And you notice he wants to flatten and round right here. Neither of those things do we want to have happen. That rounding of the back slacks the hamstrings, so we lose that tension there. We lose that tension on the knee, bad for the knee. Also, the knees collapsing in drives pressure on the inside of that knee. Again, not a comfortable position for the knee. Also, his ankles collapse in. So we're going to try and fix a couple of those things now. Go ahead and get down here on all fours. Hook your toes into the floor as if you had the floor right here behind your feet. Good. Now give me an arch in the back. So we can learn this lumbar extension. We want to learn this extension here. We don't want spinal extension here, we want it here. We don't want hyperextension, we just want a neutral extension when we squat. So we may need to learn that position from here and get a little extra work unloaded, so when we're loaded, we can be in a neutral position. So you want to actually bring your knees in just a touch from here. Good. And again, hook those toes in the floor as if you had a floor here, 90 degrees to where your feet are. You're going to sit back into your hips without losing that arch. Yeah, and come forward again. So once you lose that arch, that's the end of your range. Stomach in, push your hips back. A couple things are happening here. One, we're stop, hold here. We're learning that extension position. Two, we're getting a little bit of stretch on the posterior capsule of that hip. Come forward, both of which will allow us to get a better squat depth. Arch, sit back into it, and stop. Now again, he can have a little hyperextension on this movement because he's unloaded, and because we want to learn that control of this area. Come forward again, one more time, sit back into the hips. Sit back, 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 back. Arch, stop, hold, and come forward. Now remember, there was two things that he had, go ahead and stand up, Roy. Two things that he had going on. One, rounding of the lower back, which we don't want, especially under load. And two, his knees were collapsing in. So the second thing we're going to have him do is a prying exercise. Go ahead and hold this by the horns, squat down between squat down as low as you can, drive your elbows in between your knees and drive your knees out. This position helps pry open that hip joint. Again, keep that chest up so we get that arch of that back. Drive those knees out. Give me lower that bell and then curl it back up. Oh, and curl it back up. Your squat's a little wide. Go ahead and stand up. Let's reset. And again, you want your heels hip width, toes slightly turned out. Squat down, elbows inside the knees. Really drive those knees out. Chest up. Now, do not tip over when you give me that curl. Good. We need about 3 of those. And maybe 5 of those. Chest up. Really drive those knees out. Again, drive those knees out so they're parallel with the foot. Really work that position, drive your knees forward a little bit as well. They can come forward because we need that range of the ankle so we can maintain balance over the middle of that foot. Now go ahead and set that down. Now let's go ahead and see your squat again after those 2 fixes. It won't be a perfect squat, but it should be drastically improved. Yes. Get your feet straight. Not completely straight, but a little bit straighter. Relax. All right. Slight improvement. Thank you.